Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the part 13 of the Danish Deception. Oh my god. At this point in the story, we are already getting to the root of the matter. And it is ugly. I promise you, it is ugly. What? If you've not seen the part 1 down to part 12, you need to go start from the beginning. And yes, I should have created a playlist by now. So check out the playlist. So those of you that are up to date, let's get it
to a champagne
started.
party, and that's where
No, we have
his
to
best
start
friend
from
told
the
me that he used to have a
beginning. No,
gambling
no.
addiction.
Why is
So,
that started from the beginning? Okay.
the Danish Deception, part 13. So, just to recap, I was spending Christmas with my ex and his family in Denmark, and the day after Christmas, we go to a champagne party, and that's where his best friend told me that he used to have a gambling addiction. So, when I hear this, I am just full panic mode. I'm questioning everything. And I'm freaking out. I remember it was so cold in Denmark and I was outside, not even wearing a jacket, and I was sweating because I was just like so overheated. So I asked him, I go, I had no idea. And at this point, his best friend is like mad. Like he's angry. He's like, are you serious? Like you didn't know. And I was like, yeah, no, I had no idea. He was like, he told me that he told you. I go, he absolutely did not tell me. And I've loaned him a lot of money over the course of a year and a half. And he said,
Hey, she didn't know she was furnishing his gambling addiction. Who knows if that's the reason why he's even married? Because she has the heart to give him the kind of money he will need. I don't like gambling. I hate it with everything in me. Gambling.
he owed me money. I was like, he was like, he paid me back the money he owed me, but he did take money from me at one point. And yeah, it was bad. It was like 10 years ago. And so immediately I'm like, can you go inside the house and get him? So he gets my ex walks out. He goes, what's wrong, babe? And I said, do you have a fucking gambling addiction? I remember I screamed it in his face. I did not even care that I was causing a scene. I was just so mad. And he looks at me, he goes, I mean, I did, but it was like 10 years ago, which did check with what his best friend said, that it was 10 years ago. I was young, I was dumb, I was stupid. I would never, ever go back to that. And I'm like, well, let's play back all the times that I've given you money. Tell me how to make this make sense. And he's like, I have truly just had a year of so many downs, and I promise you, I would never in a million years gamble away your money. And I don't know what to do to prove it. And I was like, well, this insurance payment that you just told me about, I'm gonna need to see proof of that. At this point, I'm like, I need to see proof. Been drinking all night, and we get home and I'm just ripping him to shreds. Like, and honestly, he's taking it. He tried a little bit to gaslight me, and I just was like, you're not gonna gaslight me. You're in the wrong, you lied, you have an addiction, and you didn't tell your wife, and you're the problem. And so we spent a while just fighting. I actually ended up going to bed that night, and the next morning I'm obviously still very angry, very hurt. And he was working in the office in his parents' house. And so after he finishes working, I'm like, we need to go for a walk, because obviously his parents were home.
This might even be the reason why his salary is always this is nowhere to be found, because she said he works and he do get good payment from his job. So imagine if was getting the money, was not gambling it away, they should have been okay instead of depending on how to carry the weight. This is annoying.
And they didn't know what was going on. And his parents are really old at this point. I just like didn't want to bring like any chaos or anything, any drama to the family, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like I should have brought the whole family into what was going on, but I guess my natural instinct was to protect him. And so we go on a walk, and obviously I'm angry, and he like pulls up this document showing me the invoice from the insurance, and it aligns with like the amount that he told me that he had to pay. And so I'm still angry, hurt, all the feelings. And he goes, look at me right now. And I looked at him. He goes, do you really think, you know me, do you really think I'm capable of doing this to you and taking your money and throwing it?
A gambler, yes. Oh my God.
Away. And I looked him in the eye and I was like, I mean, no, because at this point, I had never, ever seen a side to him that would ever hurt me intentionally or unintentionally. Like, I feel like he always had my best interests at heart, and that he was just a guy going through hard times. So maybe it's because I'm brainwashed at this point, but I end up deciding to believe him. And especially because he showed me proof. I also asked to see his bank statements, and everything checked out. And so I let it go. And I said, okay, well, do not ever lie to me again. You're my husband, I'm your wife, and you're gonna be honest with me going forward. And if I catch you in a lie again, like, we're gonna have some problems. Already had plans to go to Budapest for New Year's, that following New Year's, and we found some really cheap flights and a cheap hotel. Honestly, we didn't spend a whole lot of money on that trip, and that's part of the reason why we went. But we went there for New Year's, had a good time. As you can probably imagine, I paid for that entire trip. After Budapest, we went back to Copenhagen for one day, and then I went back to Dallas, and he stayed in Copenhagen because he had a bunch of work meetings. I'm home, and obviously stressing about this upcoming hearing with the Danish IRS, SCAT, or whatever it's called. And I knew it was on January 10th, and I kind of wanted to wait and see if he would bring it up, because a part of me was like, I feel like he's lying about all of this. And so January 9th comes around, and long and behold, he says, oh, my hearing is tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, he's telling the truth about that. Because if he had just like breezed past the date, I would have felt like, okay, he's lying about this whole, everything, the business account. And so he tells me the next day he has a hearing. Again, I go to sleep, ball of nerves, wake up the next morning, ask him, how did the hearing go? And he said, they ended up deciding to put an 18-month hold on my account. And I'm like, oh, this is so frustrating. Like, I'm just so frustrated. I feel like nothing is going our way. And he said, listen, it's only 18 months. You're doing well at this point. Like, I was doing well with real estate. And he's like, I have my job, and, you know, I don't foresee any crazy things happening. So we'll be fine. Don't worry. We'll be okay. And obviously at that point, I wanted to trust him fully, but I also didn't. So I told him, I need to see proof of this. And that's when he shows me email confirmation from his lawyer confirming that there was an 18-month hold on this account. And I saw the email. Fast forward to February 10th. It's our anniversary. And so we decided we're going to go out that night. And I remember we like talked originally about maybe going on a vacation. But then we ended up canceling the vacation just because we wanted to save some money. And so we ended up just being here for our anniversary. And so we went to a nice restaurant here in Dallas, one of our favorite ones. And we go to dinner, and he's ordering like really expensive wine. Like, I think he ordered like a $400 or $500 bottle of wine. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, it's our anniversary. And I'm like, I know, but we need to be saving money. And then afterwards, one of my good friends,
He's really living like a gambler.
was at a cocktail bar and said, hey, you guys should come and meet us. And we were like, sure. I asked him if he was down. He said, yeah, let's do it. So we go, and we go to this cocktail bar. My friend is there. She's celebrating a birthday of another one of her friends, someone that not super close friends with, and they're with like a big group of girls. So I just went to go say hi to her, see her, say hello. And before I know it, my ex is like, I'm gonna buy everyone around his shots. And we're at a cocktail lounge, it's like kind of expensive. And I'm like, is that really necessary? Like, I feel like, and I looked around and everyone had a drink in their hand. I'm like, we don't need to do that. He's like, oh no, it's her birthday, let's do it. I'm like, you don't even know who that girl is. Like, why does it matter? And I remember just being super annoyed because I knew he had just spent like $800 at dinner, and we're at this cocktail lounge, and I realized like he's running up a bill here, and he's just chugging old fashions. And he wasn't the biggest drinker. Like, he drank, and sometimes he would get like really drunk, but it was like pretty rare. And most times he could drink and handle his alcohol very well. And so tonight was really weird because I'm like, we're celebrating our anniversary, and you would think that he just like wants to be intentional with our time spending it together. And instead it just feels like he's just slamming these drinks. And I was so confused by why he felt the need to get this drunk. And so he's having a conversation with my friend, and I'm like seeing him, and he's like slurring his words, and then he's talking to my friend, and I see like a little bit of spit come from his mouth and like land on like her shoulder, and she like wiped it away. And I was like, what the fuck is that? That's disgusting. And so he's drank his like third old fashioned, and then I look up and he's ordering another one. And I look at him, I say, are you sure you should order another drink? And he looks at me, he goes, who do you think you are to tell me when I like what I can and can't drink? And I said, excuse me, I'm just saying, do you need to have another drink?
His true self is coming out. His true self is coming to play. That is the person. That is his true self.
Drink. Like, do we need to get belligerent tonight? And before I know it, he's basically just going off on me, saying that I'm disrespecting him and I shouldn't be telling him that he needs to slow down and that he's a man. And I'm just confused because we've never really like had arguments like this before. And I'm like, what's your problem? And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go. And I was like, okay, let's go. So we get into the Uber, about to go home, and I'm like, what is your problem? He's like, I just don't like it when you disrespect me in public like that. And I was like, I didn't disrespect you in public. It's not like I yelled, hey, you're drunk, stop drinking. I literally told you right next to you, like there was no one else around. I just said, hey, maybe you should slow down on the drinking. Y'all, I don't know what happened next, but this huge, intense fight spiraled out. We get into the house and we are now screaming at each other. He's telling me that I disrespected him. And now I'm getting mad because I'm like, you're drunk right now. Like, what's going on? Like, you never behave like this. The fight escalates and he ends up walking out of the home. And I'm like, where are you going? And he said, don't worry about me. I'm going to get a hotel tonight and then we're going to see where we stand. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And we will continue on in part 14. The Danish
I'm feeling like he's been looking for a way out. He wants to now use this because she has not really given him something to hold. Maybe he wants to now hold on this one now. And that's okay. He doesn't want to do it again. Maybe because he's not getting enough money from her again, or he's not he's saying like she doesn't have money like the way he was expecting it. What do you guys think? Well, see you in part 14. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you.